In this video and the next few videos, let's look at how to compare fractions. This is one of my favorite topics. I can think of 4 or 5 different ways to compare fractions. So let's look at the situation where the denominators for two fractions are same, and let's call this same denominator. Yeah? And let's figure out then which fraction is bigger. So for example, let's take the example of 3/4 and 1/4. Yeah, so you notice that the denominator is same in both the cases, and let's now see how 3/4 looks like. So I like to draw my fractions as rectangles because my circles somehow never are the same size, and then I find it really hard to compare them. So if this is my whole, then the way I draw fourths is you split it into half, and then you split it into half again. So these are fourths, and now I have 3 of these fourths. That means 1, 2, and 3/4. Okay, and now let's see how 1/4 would look like. So I'm going to draw this a same size rectangle. Yeah, it's really important when you're comparing fractions that the whole has to be the same size, because if not, then it's really tough to compare fractions. So I'm trying really hard to make it the same size, and then I'm going to make fourths again. So half, and then half again. And then for a 1/4, I just need one of these 4 pieces. So now you notice how the size of the pieces is the same in both of these fractions because the denominator is the same. The denominator decides how large the size of the piece is. So the size is the same. And in this case, you have 3 of the same size pieces, and in this case, you have 1 of the same size pieces. So obviously, this is a bigger fraction. Yeah. So this is a case when the denominator is the same. Now, let's look at when the numerator is the same. So let's call this same numerator. Yeah. And let's again take, say, 3/4. That seems to be kind of my favorite fraction. And let's draw 3/4 again. 3/4 would be 3/4 is this, half, and half again. And then 3 of these would be this. And the other fraction that we will consider is 3/8. So notice that the numerator is the same, but the denominator is different. So in case of 3/8, again, I'm going to make the whole the same size. And the way I like to draw eighths is split it into half. Then you split it into half again. So you have fourths. And then split each of these into half again. Into 2 parts, that is. And so you have eighths. So, and 3 of these would be 1, 2, 3. So you notice how each piece in this case is much bigger in case of 3/4, and in case of the eighths, each of the piece is much smaller. So you have the same number of pieces, that is, you have 3 in this case and 3 in this case, but here you have 3 of the smaller size pieces. In this case, you have 3 of the bigger size pieces. So obviously, this fraction is bigger. So in the next video, we're going to look at more ways of comparing fractions. See you then.